Next on Worcester News tonight, a popular lake is closed to swimmers and rowers after sewage leaks into the water. Plus, OFOs are back in Worcester, and now the city is looking to add another ride-sharing app. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Newly released numbers from the state's Department of Public Health show opioid deaths are down, but fentanyl and cocaine use is trending up. DPH statistics show in the first 3 months of 2018, opioid-related overdose deaths declined by an estimated 5% when compared to the same period last year. There were 257 opioid-related deaths in Worcester County in 2017. It's just 2 less than 2016. St. Vincent Hospital says it's an issue and concern they deal with every day.
This is through education. Collaborating with our community partners. We're working closely with our police and EMS and with the city of Worcester. And then also giving the staff and the patients referrals for resources if they're ready for recovery.
And St. Vincent says they continue to offer treatment for all patients and all of their employees are supplied with Narcan. A rowing competition is postponed and swimmers are forced to stay out of the water. A blocked sewer line caused an overflow of sewage into Lake Quinsigamond Tuesday. Our Brittany Schaefer joins us live now with more on people affected by the lake. Brittany?
Olivia, the contaminated water canceling plans and events Wednesday. One family I spoke to says on a hot day like today, it would have been nice to jump in the lake. Stacy Mitchell and her 2-year-old niece had to stay on the sand Wednesday.
Good job.
The water was off limits. Mitchell came to Regatta Point Beach on Lake Quinsigamond in hopes of cooling off and says they were inches away from going in.
And I was trying to get her to go feel the water, and someone came over and said, oh, just to let you know, the water's not safe right now. There's bacteria in it. It didn't pass inspection. So he must have just caught us right in time.
According to the city, a sewer line leaked into the lake, and until the water is tested Thursday, residents should avoid contact. The unsafe conditions forcing the cancellation of the 2nd annual Worcester Mayor's Cup crew race.
They are disappointed. We were really looking forward to defending the cup title that we won last year, and we've had a really good season, and I think they were really looking forward to just the last race, having fun with the local competition.
Residents who visit Lake Quinsigamond often say this isn't the first time the city has had issues keeping the water clean.
I know there's always a lot of problems with this lake, so I'm hoping, they can figure out why it keeps happening.
I think it's horrible how it keeps happening every year. They always say they're going to fix it and it keeps happening.
The city says they have fixed the sewage leak but now need to retest it before people can go swimming. Those results will be released tomorrow. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A convention at the DCU Center Wednesday focuses on managing dementia. Attendees were educated on new legislation aimed to help improve hospital care for dementia patients. Our Chandler Walsh joins us live now to explain. Chandler?
Olivia, the Alzheimer's Association says there are 130,000 people with Alzheimer's disease in the state. The new legislation would improve their care and reduce costs.
A new bill could improve how hospitals care for patients with dementia. It would create an integrated state plan to treat Alzheimer's disease and require training for healthcare professionals.
In the hospital setting, doctors, nurses, other associated healthcare professionals really don't have the training or are not focusing on the cognitive impairment of their patients.
The Alzheimer's Association's Jim Wessler says it's difficult and costly to treat patients who have dementia. And he says they have higher rehospitalization rates nationwide.
It's more complicated. They're going to try to get up out of their bed because they're confused. They don't know where they are. They're going to pull IVs out of their arms.
The bill would make new hospital guidelines a requirement. The guidelines recommend hospitals develop an operational plan in the next 3 years to identify patients with dementia to better treat them.
Which will deal with protocols in the emergency department, in screening, in inpatient care, in staff training, in discharge planning.
On Wednesday, the Alzheimer's Association hosted their 25th annual Dementia Care Conference, where they educated attendees on the new legislation. nation. This is the first year the conference was at the DCU Center. The 700 attendees is the largest crowd they've ever had.
Our whole goal is to really educate the workforce, so people coming here to learn the best care techniques to care for someone with dementia and go back and implement those in their work.
The Alzheimer's bill passed unanimously in the House. Wessler hopes it will also pass in the Senate and be on the governor's desk next month.
We already have half of the senators have signed a letter saying they support this. The Senate right now is working on the budget, and so I'm cautiously optimistic.
Wessler says thanks to the guidelines and bill, it's an exciting time for those in the industry. He says Massachusetts is leading the nation with this legislation. Olivia.
All right, thank you, Chandler. An activities assistant at Holy Trinity holds a book signing Wednesday after releasing her first published collection of poems. DIANE ASHMORE says she has always been a writer and it's a dream come true her first book has been published. The book, titled Inspirational Gifts from the Heart, is a collection of poems written in honor of her late husband. ASHMORE says she wrote the entire book in just a month and hopes her words will inspire and comfort people during difficult times.
Through pain, there's gain. My husband had died 3 years ago, and I've always been a writer, but it wasn't time for me to write. So after his death, I started to pick up my pen, and I hope to do more big and greater things, for our city, for everybody, all involved. But my whole thing is just here to inspire.
And ASHMORE says she is already working on her second book. An odd request from the Uxbridge Police Department. They are asking anyone to contact them who has seen a peacock. Police posted this picture on social media. A resident told officers their pet peacock has gone missing. Police say it went missing in the area of Route 16 on Douglas Street, and they can travel quite the distance in a relatively short period of time. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Mortgage rates across the U.S. are on the rise. The average 30-year fixed mortgages has climbed a full percentage point over the last year and a half. Loan officer Brian Flynn says it was 6 or 7 years ago the last time rates were this high. He says generally when rates go higher, it means the economy is doing well. He says people, especially those looking to buy a home, should not be discouraged.
If you find the right house and you need to buy, it's always a good time to buy a house. It's just a matter of finding that right house. The longer you wait, potentially, the higher the rates could go. Affordability becomes into issue there, but it really comes down to circumstantial for each person.
Flynn says rates were low for so long they had nowhere to go but up. After a successful first run in the city, OFO bikes have returned. Wednesday, crew members were out dropping the bikes off at several locations across Worcester. Our Roslyn Flaherty joins us live now with more. Roslyn?
Olivia, the bikes were taken off the streets for the winter but are now back, and residents say they are excited to start riding them again.
OFO bicycles are back for the spring and ready to be unlocked. The Chinese company brought the bike sharing program to Worcester last year. The Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce says they got great feedback, and it has led the city to have conversations with more bike-sharing companies.
It just gave a more sense of safety and awareness around ridership, and I think encouraged a lot of riders who wouldn't normally ride to work.
The dockless bikes can be used by any smartphone through the company's app and costs $1 per hour.
It's something that I would like to see continue.
It's really great because it provides people with transportation to where they need to go.
JOSIEBEL FRANCO says a family friend uses the bikes often and it helps him get around the city.
He loved it because he was able to have his own bike to get to school and back, and he didn't really have to spend money in getting one.
The chamber says some bikes were damaged last summer, but says OFO expected it to happen. The company has teams in place to fix the broken bikes.
It was certainly a concern that we all had on the committee, and when we talked to OFO about it, it wasn't anything abnormal. It's something that there's the cost of doing business in any community.
Now 400 bikes have been put out, but the chamber says they could increase that number over the summer. Roslyn Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
People will be offered free bus service between Worcester and Framingham stations beginning this weekend. The buses will replace commuter rail trains while the MBTA installs a federally mandated safety system between Worcester and Framingham. The service will begin May 26 and continue on weekends through June 17th, making stops at all stations. The MBTA website will have exact bus time departures.